I went camping here in the middle of Copenhagen. Let me show you around this amazing looking place. I think we're gonna start downstairs and show you all of the public areas, and then I'll show you these amazing tents afterwards. So it's such a funny idea, this place, camping inside. When I saw it, I was just like, I need to try and stay here. So the funny thing about this is actually a shopping mall right here, and it's on top. So you come in here through the entrance and then walk up the stairs, and it doesn't really look that interesting up until we get into the actual place. So going in here, the first thing you will see is these lockers right here, which you can rent if you're here before or after your stay. There is a cozy little place here to hang out and a map around the city. And then we're walking in, and it's not because they're not cleaning, the place is very clean. Been cleaned every day I've been here. It's because it's Halloween just around the corner. And right to the left here is a very cozy, like in general, Copenhagen is all about coziness. This place definitely is also about that. So very nice hangout area with couches and everything. And then you have the reception right here, where you can buy like everything you need if you forgot it. Like sunscreen, shampoo, and there's free earplugs, which for the first time ever I actually been using this time. Not because it was necessary, because they were free, and I was like, okay, let me try this out. And then if we continue a little bit down the lane here, is the bar area. In the morning, there was actually breakfast here every morning, which you have to pay a little bit for. It looks quite nice. So if you don't want to leave the building in the morning, there is breakfast here. Also, they have sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. And then something very nice, they actually have craft beer here. So the bar facilities is one of the best, if not the best, I ever seen in a hostel, which is very nice. There's also something outside we'll get to a little bit later on. But this is really, really, really nice. And then we're walking a little bit longer down here. More places. Here you can actually sit and work on a high table, which I love because I love standing when I'm working. And then all of here, it have these like festival benches and tables, which when you're sitting here makes you feel like you're outside on some kind of festival or something like that. And then a little bit down the line here, we have this very beautiful looking, what is it called? Tandem bike? Is that what it's called in English also? I don't actually remember. On top of huge lockers. So if you have like a big suitcase you want to store here, you can rent one of these. So now we are in the opposite corner of where the bike was. Laundry, and this is actually a very nice price for laundry, as I remember, because my time living in Copenhagen, mostly I had to go out to a laundromat, which sometimes feels very expensive, especially when you've just been traveling around Asia where it costs nothing. Here, very affordable price to do it. Nice thing, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just put it on here, buy a cup of coffee, and just wait until it's done. And then they have these surfboards, or whatever it's called. I've seen it a million times before. It looks a little bit like a miniature curling. I never tried it. That's why if I sound like I don't know what it's about, that's the reason why. But they have 3 of them. It looks very funny. I want to try it one day. So if anybody ever want to try playing it with me, let's do it. And then there are 2 pool tables also. I guess you have to rent these tables. I'm actually not 100% sure about that. Okay, let's go outside. So, of course, it's freezing cold here in Copenhagen at this time of the year, but you still have the outside seating, and there is a roof on some of it, so if it's raining, you can still sit here. So as you see, very, very cozy here. And that box right here is actually a bar. So they just closed it down for the winter, but in the summertime that will be open. And one of the owners actually told me, oh, you should have been here 2 months ago, because they have like amazing parties out here in the summertime. I've seen some photos and videos from it, and it looks super fun. So definitely gonna come back at the summertime at some point and visit this place. And again, there are seatings all over the place here. And then they have this extra terrace where you walk up and have a very nice view of all the trains driving by here. And if you wonder if you can hear the trains while you're sleeping, yes, but not really. It's just like a light rumble, which is part of being in the city. And I actually think it was cozy to hear. And if you're very annoyed about it, you won't be, because you barely hear it. There are the free earplugs. So right over there is Nørrebro station. And the funny thing is, I actually used to live just on the other side of the station from here. So food options in Copenhagen is of course a big thing. Before Copenhagen got famous, the food options were not that good. But nowadays there are everything, like everything you can get, and it's good. However, it's usually quite expensive. In this area right next to here is actually a street food market, a tiny one, and then they are building an inside one, which for Copenhagen is very amazing, because the weather is shit most of the year, if you ask me. Don't ask me about the weather, because I will always complain if it's under 30 degrees. So the street food market indoor is of course not open yet, because it's not built yet. But when you be here, it will probably be done. And as you see on top of the bar is a bike. You can also rent bikes here for the day or for multiple days or for a few hours, I think. Which, if you are, first of all, you need to be skilled to some extent on a bike to bike around Copenhagen, especially in rush hour. If you're not, I don't recommend you doing it. If you know how to bike on a not super high level, but you need to be more than average, I would say, especially in the rush hour. I highly recommend going around Copenhagen by bike. That is the way to do it. Like, I lived in this city for 18 years and I never own a car, always by bike. I can count on one hand the times I've been living here that I've been taking the metro. Okay, let's go inside again, and then I will show you all of the tents up there. So there are tents on both sides of the hallway here, on the other side also, and then some downstairs. So the first thing the first thing I paid attention to when I got here was the place was way bigger than I thought it was, including the public area we just been to. So if you think it looks a little bit small, it's just the pictures. It's way bigger than you actually think it is. I'm not quite sure how many tents there are, but there are quite a few. So let's go this way, and then they have like different types of tents. So these tents are super cozy, and also just walking down the hallway, you get this feeling that you are actually out camping. It's funny because when you see the pictures on the website, it's like, yeah, it looks cool, but what in real life it's probably not. It actually is, which I was a little bit surprised. So there are on the walls in between all tents this soundproofing, which is working quite well. Of course you can hear each other, but you can do that in any hostel. And I feel like because we are in these small capsules, like this is one big room where they put the tents in, and if it would have been a traditional hostel situation, it would just have been beds all over. It would be more noisy than when you're in here. And you can close the doors, and then you just like the people in the tent. So this particular room here is actually a double bedroom. So if you're traveling with your partner or somebody you want to share the bed with, you can get your own room. And you get like these huge lockers here also, which is in all the rooms. And I travel with a lot of stuff. If you've seen some of my videos before, my backpack and camera fits in there, and then I have my suitcase under the bed. In theory, I could stuff everything inside the locker, and I think it will still fit. I just had to take the camera apart. So I'm staying in one of the bunk beds, and I think all of the tents have like 4 bunk beds. Let's go and check it out. And you can see it here, right? That cozy feeling that I talked about. You feel like you are there. The only thing that would be nice, but of course, if people are gonna sleep in here, but to have some nature sounds during the day maybe. But if people are sleeping during the day, maybe it's annoying on the long run with that. And then they have these small fireplaces. Of course, not real fire, because that would be horrible. But it gives this cozy vibe also when you're walking around. So here's a tent with bunk beds. Let me show you a little bit around it. So it is actually relatively spacious in here for how many people you fit in here. So double beds. And then this is like a Western hostel situation. There is like not really much of a privacy. However, you get a towel and it needs to dry anyway. So I have bed 4. I'll just put it here, and then it's like this. It's a usual thing with Western hostel that it doesn't have the covers like in Asia. I don't know why. I feel like it's not too bad here. Like also because you're only sharing it with all of the people in the room. At night, this one will be closed. And there are still this plate here, so you can kind of like lay in behind it, put out the towel, all good. Mattress is very nice, pillow good. In general, very nice setup. And it has the usual, the lights, the plugs, and then USB plugs also. A tiny little shelf. And then of course you get the locker, which is, let's try this one so you can see it. But it's huge. I was also a little bit worried how hot it will be in here. And actually for me, it's a little bit too cold in here. So that means perfect for everybody else, because again, everything under 30 degrees is a kind of cold for me. So don't worry about that. All the tents has an AC vent. So also in the summer, you will be fine in here, 100%. I'll show you the bathroom. So there is a female one and a male one. So of course I can only show you the male one because I'm not allowed to go into the girl one. I guess it's quite similar though. Sinks, and then all of this toilets. And here for standing peeing, I guess that will of course not be in the female toilet. At the end of the row here, we have more sinks and then all the showers. And there are many showers, many toilets, many sinks. It's the low season, so right now there's not that many people. But even when it's full, there will always be a shower free. And again, it has this nature kind of vibe all over the place. And again, it's cleaned every day. Every single day, this place is cleaned, which is amazing. Okay, showers. So the shower is quite plain, but it has the shelf for your stuff and hooks for your clothing. And that's basically what you need. So I guess that was the tour. Unless I forgot something. I was told they have 2 like regular rooms also, which is always rented out, he told me. So I'm not able to see them, but they have them. And if you book in advance, maybe they will be available. I would say, however, the tents is the experience here. That is like what you want to go here for. So very happy about the stay here. Very, very happy. And you can stay here for a month, no problem. at all. Like, I stayed at hostels in Asia for 3 months, so I know what I'm talking about. You can easily stay here for like a long period of time. I was happily surprised about this place. Definitely going to come back at the summertime at some point and try the bar outside. It looks so cozy. There are also all kinds of events going on all the time. Oh, talking about the bar, there was one thing I forgot, because I forgot about it. That was the key card. See if I can find it in my pocket. When you check in, you get actually a free drink, which I still have to use. A drink of your choice. I'll go and use it before my voice disappears completely. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Everything is in the description, of course. And then check this place out if you're nearby Copenhagen.